hello.
But I still don't see Constantine at your side. I hope he hasn't been the victim of any foul play.
Don't worry. We'll find him in time for departure.
I certainly hope so. Would you be in need of my help in any way?
Ask about the future
What will
role
be your
on the
official
island.
title on Tier 4D? Or are you just here to keep an eye on us?
Come now, don't be ridiculous. I'm coming in the capacity of official advisor, nothing more. But His Highness has also asked me to report to him on certain strategic observations. I am therefore required to take note of all events, chart the island and its resources, but also obtain as much knowledge as possible concerning the more dangerous creatures of the island. Your help will be extremely valuable to me. I've no longer the legs of an adventurer.
It's always a privilege to help, Master.
And
I
that's
need to be
D.
leaving. I have quite a few things to do before we raise anchor.
And one of them is finding our cousin. Bosco!
Lively there, lads and lasses! I promised the merchants and their prince we'd be off before the tide. You, man, carry that properly. That porcelain is worth more than your life.
Not anymore.
There are some children we'd been best to refuse.
Get wrecked! Captain Vasco.
And you are?
I'm de Sade, the prince's nephew. If all is in order, we will soon be embarking on your boat.
It's a ship. Not a boat.
Apologies.
Apologies for my asking, but the young governor isn't with you.
He didn't come home this morning. I need to find him before departure.
I hope nothing's happened to him or he hasn't changed his mind. The tide does not wait.
Perhaps he simply celebrated his imminent departure with a little too much enthusiasm. Is everything ready?
We're short a crew member. The cabin boy is missing. But have no fear, we will leave without him if he does not present himself before the tide.
Is he an important member of the crew?
We don't need him for sailing or navigation. He's only a cabin boy.
He must have simply had a bit too much to drink in celebrating his departure. Like another I know.
I doubt that. Jonas was never one to fancy drink. And it's been 2 days since last he was seen. No, I fear something bad has happened.
That's not good.
Might I ask you, if you hear anything, could you report it to me? I would like to set sail with a clear mind.
About the cabin boy. Where did you see him for the last time?
When did you see your cabin boy for the last time?
It's been 2 days since I've had any news at all. It wasn't out of the ordinary until this morning. My men have free shore leave when we're at dock. But the day of departure, every able-bodied sailor must be present on the ship.
Acquaintances in Serene?
Does the boy know anyone in Serene?
Other than fellow Nords, you mean? I don't think so, but it's difficult to be sure.
Who are his close
This
friends?
Jonas, does he have any close friends amongst the crew?
In tradition, we are all members of the same family. But yes, there would be Flavia and Laura.
Might I
Okay.
have a word with them?
As you wish, you'll find them over there, in port.
Ask about the
Have you
heretics.
seen anyone wandering about? Suspicious looking. Maybe clandestine passengers.
Take a look around. There are far too many comings and goings to spot possible stowaways. As long as they don't try and get on my ship, I pay no attention to them. That said, we did catch ourselves a smuggler just a while ago.
A smuggler? Maybe he could be of some use. Where could I find him?
In the port jails, not far from the warehouses. May I ask you, why the sudden interest in smugglers and the odd stowaway?
Talk openly about your
A couple
mission.
of heretics are planning on leaving Serene. The ambassador of Teleme has entrusted me with the job of
Because
capturing
I don't really trust you
Happy
guys.
to see that you trust me enough to seek my counsel in the affair. Just so happens that I heard someone talking about the couple. The Cardinal's men are far from discreet. They were making quite some ruckus, asking to search our warehouses. We, of course, refused entry. Only the Nords have access.
Alright,
sorry, Your
noted.
Excellency, but I'm certain your potential stowaways aren't far. But we won't allow you to make a search to grab them. Not officially, at least.
What do you mean?
That discretion and malice are often more useful than titles and words.
Alright. Ask about
You
Constantine's
haven't heard anything about my
absence.
cousin by chance, have you? To be honest, we were hoping to find him here.
Did you say he was intending on celebrating his departure? My men spoke of a rather animated party that went down at the Coin Tavern, but I haven't heard anything else.
That isn't the safest place in the city. I hope nothing has happened to him.
Let's go and find him. Thank you, Captain.
Happy to be of some help.
Let's ask about the
Can you
North.
tell me a little about your guild?
We are masters of the oceans. Our ships can sail where no others dare.
Thanks to
Alright.
magic, so I've heard. How do you become a Nord?
Our magic, yes, that only the Nords master. As for your question, any child born on one of our ships is seaborn. He is a Nord from birth. Others are sea gifted, joining the Nords for different reasons, often from a young age. It's how the guild is made and maintains its numbers.
Alright.
Could you tell me anything about our destination? The island of Tirfredi?
It is a magnificent place. Wild. Spared from your wars and your mines, for now. The natives have a relationship with their land and consider it sacred. They're a very friendly people, welcoming, that will appear to you strangely familiar. I've also heard that there are a great many exotic creatures, some enormous. But I wouldn't know what else to tell you. I've never strayed far from the ports.
Port of
What do you
Serene.
think of our port?
Are you referring to this one? It is the biggest high seas port on the continent. Thanks to your prince, even though it remains part of your city, it holds a particular status for us Nords.
That's
Certain
good.
zones are owned completely by us, and maritime law holds office. It's a good port. Were it not for the Malachor, it would be a pleasant place to dock.
That Malachor.
I have a favor to ask before we leave.
I'm all ears.
We would like to load some merchandise into your ship's hold.
Impossible. You're too late for that. All merchandise must be registered at the Port Authority, and the
All right.
formalities are long. So, unless you're asking me to turn smuggler and hide contraband on my vessel,
I wouldn't go that far. We're only talking about a few crates after all.
well then, they'll have to wait. The next ship for New Serene leaves in a month.
Hellfire. If that shipment doesn't leave today, the commander will have my hide.
Captain, I understand your position, but isn't there some way we can get these crates on board?
I doubt it. Even if I wanted to help you, my quartermaster is a half-crazed bridge troll. He's gotten into his head that a gang of ruffians want to use my ship to pass contraband over to Tirfredi. He's placed guards where our cargo is being held before being
Alright.
loaded. All that is not in the warehouse and noted on the manifest will be left on the docks. Sorry, but your crates are gonna have to wait until the next ship sets sail.
Sorry, Kurt. At least we tried.
The commander is going to have my head. I'm sure that's what he wanted in giving me this impossible task.
In that case, we're going to have to dock to the manifest ourselves.
We should not be saying this in front of Bosco.
Be back soon, Captain.
We need to have a word with that people smuggler the sailor mentioned.
He's a captain, Kurt, like yourself. And in order to interrogate the smuggler, we'll need to find a way into his jail.
You know. Investigate make disappearances of the not novice, okay?
But perhaps we'll discover some useful information.
Good day, sailor. I've been told that you know the missing cabin boy well. Is that right?
You talking about Jonas? You bet your stars I know him. But like I've been crying to the 9 deaf winds, he didn't go missing, he was taken.
That's about Cabin Boy. Ask what he
Were
knows.
you a witness to the event?
Yes, I was. Even though I'd had a few tumblers in the belly, I hadn't yet lost my head. The other day, in the tavern, I saw him talking to a well-dressed man, surrounded by some other sly ruffians. And then when we left, him and I, Flavia left a little earlier, you understand? Well, those brutes were there, waiting for him. They just up and took him like that. Grabbed his arms and poof. Gone. Vanished.
Why didn't you intervene?
I tried to, believe me. But my legs betrayed me. Wavering they were. And I fell into the gutter.
Did you report this to the captain?
Unfortunately not. I know all too well what weight my words carry. Even Flavia treated me like a drunken fool. And the captain? No, not telling him that. I still have some pride left. You get me?
Ask about the
Jonas
cabin
trouble
boy's
you
state of mind.
The night he disappeared?
Maybe. For sure he wasn't his usual self.
Do you know what was on his mind?
No. No idea.
Kidnapper?
Why would anyone want to snatch a mere cabin boy?
How would I know? Jonas is a gentle boy who keeps his head down. You think my story is nothing but mess too, don't you?
It's just that
No?
I can't imagine a gang of thugs hoping to get a ransom for a cabin boy. Did anyone else see the kidnapping?
There was still a small crowd in the tavern. But outside, I seem to recall that regular being there. We play cards with him from time to time. Kind of fellow who plays from morning to night time to be that skilled. But now and again he comes out. When nature calls, you know. I kind of remember his face being there.
Ask
What
about
do you
Captain
think about
Vasco.
Captain Vasco?
He's a just man.
Vasco.
Who knows his knots. He's well appreciated by the crew. It's a pity that he hasn't much heart for laughs now and again. Always seems unhappy, our captain.
Thank you,
Leave.
Lara. I need to be going.
Then we got one last person to ask. Speak to her.
Someone told me that you're a friend of Jonas's, the young cabin boy who's gone missing.
That's right, yeah. Are you looking for him?
Yes. Your captain asked me to go and find him.
Happy to hear he's taken the disappearance seriously. What can I do for you?
Ask when was the last time she saw him.
When did you last see him?
2 days ago, in the evening. We went to have a drink in the tavern. Jonas, Lauro, and myself.
Did anything seem out of the ordinary? Was he troubled?
Maybe a tad troubled. Like he was somewhere else.
Why would that be? Give me your best guess.
Boy, I haven't the faintest idea.
That's about habitual
What
comings
does
and
Jonas do
going.
in his free time, when you're on land?
He just hangs around here or there. You know the cabin boys don't have half a sailor's wages. And when evening comes, we usually go down the tavern with good old Lauro.
Did he ever have one too many?
Never. He sips his pint like it was bad medicine. One drink lasts him the whole night.
Does he know anyone in Serene?
No one, far as I know.
Enemies?
He could have made himself any enemies.
I wouldn't think that for a moment. Jonas has a good heart and he steers clear of trouble and troublemakers.
I don't know where
Alright.
to start with this. Do you have any idea?
No. Lauro won't stop telling anyone who will lend him an ear that the boy was carried off by thugs.
And you don't believe him?
I like Lauro, don't get me wrong, he's like a brother. But to be honest, he drinks a little more than he should. The itch for a drink gets us all, but to him more than others, and when you drink too much, the imagination wanders. Here, yesterday, it was me who tied one over, and I thought I heard Jonas's voice by the canal. I called back to him, as you guessed, but then nothing. Drink. It blurs the senses.
What do
Ask
you
about
think
Captain Vasco.
He's
Vasco.
a damn good navigator, and an excellent leader of men. He knows his craft well, in spite of being so young.
How old is he?
He's not seen his 25th year yet. If he keeps it up, he'll be an admiral one day.
I need to
Okay.
be going. Farewell.
Strange story, this is.
Something isn't right here, I can feel it. We need to lift the veil on this. Tavern keeper.
I see you're back. Can I pour you something this time?
No. Asked about the cabin boy going missing. I don't think it would know anything about kidnapping, but it's worth a shot.
I'm looking for a Nort. A young cabin boy who's been missing roll call for 2 days now.
A Nort, you say? That's not a lot to go on. There are quite a few that come to my tavern.
According to one of his fellows, he would have been taken right here.
A kidnapping? In my establishment? You surely jest. Or at least I hope you do. I would have noticed. That doesn't hold water.
Alright.
Someone told me about one of your faithful clients. A big gambler, it would seem.
I see. An able-bodied man. Passes his time lightening the pouches of sailors coming through.
Where might I find him at this time?
Here? He would never give away his chair at his table. Anything else?
I'm looking for
About
my cousin.
Constantine.
His name is Constantine. I believe he was intent on celebrating his departure last night.
There was indeed a party here last night, but it ended badly.
Whatever.
Oh.
A brawl broke out. My tavern was shattered, and no one's paid for the damages.
I'm sorry. Amongst the rebel rousers, did there happen to be a young man? 20 years of age. Hair down to his neck, light brown, blue eyes. Quite the talker.
I don't believe it. Of course he was there. He's the man that started the fight. I hope you've come to reimburse me. Don't count on me to help you if that's not the case.
What kind of damage are we talking about exactly?
A good half of my furniture was broken into firewood. I piled up the lot over there.
Let me take a look. Perhaps it can be repaired.
If you can fix it, I'd be obliged. If not, you'll need to pay.
Alright.
That's not a small sum. I need to think about my options.
Oh, the father has forgotten to give his son his allowance, it would seem.
I need to be off. Farewell.
Goodbye.
Okay, let's see now. Oh, it's over here. Oh!
The furniture is in terrible condition. The fight must have been extremely violent.
It looks as if it's fixable. I've seen worse. We'll need to build some metal dowels, but once done, we can make them like new.
And there you have it. You'd never guess they were once broken.
Wait, now let's go interrogate this guy.
Who are you? I don't recognize you. Am I in your debt?
No. Have no fear about that. It's for a different reason that I am here.
We got a crowd gathering.
A Nort that disappeared 2 days ago. After visiting this establishment. A young cabin boy. 2 members of his crew accompanied him.
Yes, that does ring a bell. I've played with the 3 of them.
What
What
can you
happened to
tell me
Cabin
about the
Boy?
How was he that night?
He seemed rather nervous, as if he was worried about something. Didn't feel like playing, that I remember. And he must have been right to be nervous, if he's disappeared.
What happened
Tell me what
during the
happened that
evening?
A rich merchant came in, with a band of strong-arms. The kind of men you can round up for a few coins, if you catch my drift. They exchanged words with the cabin boy. The kid was defensive, not sitting pretty. And then they finally left.
And after that?
It just so happens that I did go out for a breather. I needed some fresh air. And I think I might well have seen those same men grab him. But that was none of my business. I wouldn't have thought that they were kidnapping him if that's what he was. They weren't particularly rough with him.
Who
The
was
Witch
the
Man.
rich merchant, do you think? A jilted lover? A moneylender?
No, sir. You are in luck.
It so happens that I know the man. It was Sir Fontaine, that merchant.
Where can I find him?
He has a house in the wealthy boroughs, just off the canal. A stone's throw from the Thélème embassy.
Thank you. You've been immensely helpful.
This man is completely owned by his love for the game. Do you think we can trust him?
What would he gain from lying?
I have no idea. But what would any wealthy merchant gain from holding a penniless child?
Good question.
Well then, were you able to repair it all?
Yes, just like new. Or nearly.
That does indeed look like fine work. You know what you're doing.
I would hope.
Indeed.
Can you tell me where I can find my cousin now?
Your cousin is either a very bad joker or a right good fool. He went and insulted a band of ruffians from the lower
Oh,
boroughs.
come on.
Dangerous fellows. They've a storehouse they operate out of a few streets from here.
What kind of business do they run?
Several, actually, and they're all illegal and profitable. But you didn't hear that from me. In any case, if you were set on recovering your cousin, I would hurry if I were you. They're not a tender sauce.
Thank you for the information.
Off with ya. Get him out of whatever mess he's got himself into. Seemed like a courageous fellow. Who could down his pint. Anything else?
Nope,
I
that's
need to
it.
be off. Farewell.
Goodbye.
Might I help you, sir?
I would like to have a word with Sir Fontaine.
He is absent, but the lady of the house could certainly receive you. Enter, please.
Do. We're supposed to take off our boots, you know, right? Sorry about your rug.
Oh, I know you. I've seen you at court. You are Lord de Sade. And to what do I owe the honor of your visit, Excellency?
I would like to have a word with your husband.
He is not here, but perhaps I could be of help.
It concerns a delicate matter. We're looking for a missing cabin boy. According to witnesses, he had an argument with your husband before being taken.
I see. I am afraid that you have been misled. You seem to have come to the wrong conclusion. The cabin boy you speak of was not taken. He has simply returned home.
Excuse me, but I'm not sure I understand.
Don't you see, Your Excellency? We got our son back.
I am very surprised. Several witnesses confirmed that your son had a fight with your husband, and that his men escorted him from the tavern using force. If he had joined your husband willingly...
Witnesses? In a tavern? And you choose to believe these drunkards over a respectable family?
These witnesses are all in agreement, and it's their testimonies that have led me to your doorstep.
My son was probably shocked to have found us. My husband and the other men might have simply had to carry him. A gesture that your drunkards must have misunderstood.
Ask why the Knots
What was
have
your
took our
son doing on
son.
a Naut ship? Why would they have taken him?
It is what they do. Through pacts and contracts, they steal away young children from their mothers.
What are you talking about?
I would have thought that a legate would know these things. But it is true that you are young and inexperienced. It seems that you have been protected from the turpitudes of our own nation and their terrible allies. This horrible, constant ransoming that they put us through. But I will not say another word. You will have no trouble verifying the details now that you know what to look for.
Where might I find your son now?
I cannot say, Excellency. You must understand why. Until the Nauts have set sail, we live in fear they will take him back from us.
This pact? It sounds like some fear-inducing story.
The Nauts wouldn't be the first to recruit through dubious means.
Sir, you still haven't found your cousin. As you well know, we cannot leave without him.
Have no fear. I will bring him back in time to make our scheduled departure. Is everything ready?
I'm still without news of my cabin boy, but we will have to do without.
I spoke with a woman who told me she was the mother of the cabin boy. She claims that her son was taken from her.
Taken? Her son is sea-gifted. His parents were required to give him up to honor the terms of a contract.
A contract? But what kind of contract are we speaking of?
A commercial contract. In exchange for services rendered by the Nords, some families cede more than gold. In some cases, nations even trade some of their subjects before they're born. I wouldn't be able to tell you the condition of Jonas's contract. I didn't even know he was originally from Serene. But what I can tell you is the young man hasn't seen his parents since he was a small child. And ever since, he's been a Nord. Our ships are his home. We are his only family.
Ask about... No. Gotta
Be
leave.
back soon, Captain.
You see anyone else who might be able to help us? Anyone who's not a Naut?
Sir de Corsillion's a veritable well of scientific knowledge. He could tell us a little more.
Speak of the devil! Speak of the devil.
But I still don't see Constantine at your side. I hope he hasn't been the victim of any foul play.
Don't worry. We'll find him in time for departure.
I certainly hope so. Would you be in need of my help in any way?
Ask about contract between Nods and
I've had a word with Lady
Fontens.
Fontaine. You must know her.
Fontaine.
That rich family that lives near the docks. She told me a strange story about her son who was a cabin boy on our ship. She said that he was taken when he was a child due to some contract with the Nords.
Who was a cabin boy? Do you mean he's no longer one?
They took him back to bring him home.
Well, that is very unpleasant news, de Sade. We need to do all we can to bring the boy back to his ship. Since time immemorial, there's always been a certain price to pay for the services of the Nords. Children born on their ships belong to them. It's the rule of the sea. But certain contracts are so important that they also require children to be offered in exchange. From time to time, the congregation has passed such accord, and certain noble families had to give their children up.
Are you telling me that the Fontens lost their son because of some agreement signed between
No, that's not
uncle
right.
and the Nords?
No. That pact ended a long time ago. This cabin boy couldn't have been a part of that contract. But Sir Fontaine has made a fortune trading with the Alliance, via ships.
Do you mean he would have offered up his own son in exchange for wealth?
Well, he probably did it before the birth of the child, and regretted it afterwards. But that is of little importance. What counts most is that you bring the boy back to the Nords as quickly as possible. Breaking a contract with the seafarers has always cost us dearly. Our nation could feel it in its coffers.
I will do my best.
A father selling his own son for a few boat rides. For ugly, that is ugly.
Lady Fontaine didn't seem to
Indeed.
have any knowledge of that detail. That could be of use to us.
Huh.
This document mentions another property. A warehouse.
That would be a great place to hide. Shall we take a peek? Here we are. Be careful. Fontaine won't be alone. He'll have his henchmen with him.
Let's just try to remain discreet.
Easy. Stay discreet on stoof. Thought those were people. Don't see anyone. Not in this crate. Right behind the shelf, of course. Only one way in.
Sir de Sade, what are you doing here?
I've come looking for your son. The Nords are worried about his disappearance.
Those
Could even be
Nords
discreet.
took him from us, but now we've got him back, and he'll be staying with us.
Would you be so kind as to hear what I have to say, Sir Fontaine? I looked into the contract that binds you to the Nords. It was indeed you who ceded your son to them in exchange for help with your business with the bridge.
It is so. But that sort of contract is ignoble. I never would have signed it if I had known.
You should have thought of that before. Breaking the contract could have regrettable consequences for the congregation.
The prince will know how to negotiate with the Nords. If they take my son back, my wife will die of sadness.
Her sadness would be all the more terrible if she learned of your role in the story, don't you think?
You wouldn't dare tell her. I beg you.
You're not leaving me with a choice.
Very well. Take the key and take him away. Cursed be the day I delivered my son unto the Nords.
All children leave the nest one day or another, sir. Farewell.
I probably wouldn't have survived if I was that guy. So he's stronger than me. Be proud of him. I would have died. Oh, that was Kurt. So, here he is. You're right, sir.
Who are you?
My name is de Sardet. I am legate of the congregation. Your captain has sent me to find you.
And were you able to convince my father to allow me to go free?
Yes. Even if I had to bend his arm a little.
That doesn't surprise me. He seemed to have no intention of changing his mind. I feel more sorry for my mother. She seems so sweet and happy to see me.
You don't seem to be all that close to your parents.
I hadn't seen them since I was 5 years old. I barely remember them. They find me, capture me, and lock me up in this warehouse. Hard to grow close after all that. My family is the Nords. I am sorry for my parents, but that is the way of it now. Can I go home?
Yes.
Seem to accept this.
You should still go and say farewell to your mother. Then find your way to the ship. I'll see you there.
Sir, you still haven't found your cousin. As you well know, we cannot leave without him.
Have no fear.
Yes, we do.
I'll bring him back in time to make our scheduled departure. Is everything ready?
My cabin boy, Jonas, is back on ship. I have you to thank, I imagine.
You do. It's a rather sad affair, and though solved, leaves a broken family behind.
All we can do is plot a course. No one tells the wind what to do. I do thank you. I didn't think you'd go to so much trouble for a cabin boy. Your actions bring you honor.
Thank you.
Be back soon, Captain.
We can only hope for the best.
Do you have any idea how to get in there without me?
Let's save in case. And did not mean that.
You noticed?
Let's take a look around the building. We might find a less conspicuous entrance.
Where is the manifest to be found?
I've already been to the port authorities. They keep the official documents upstairs.
So far it seems to be working. Yeah, they don't pay me any heat of mind. But how do I get there? Yep, apparent idiocy.
Here's the ship's manifest. We only need to add our merchandise to the list.
Alright. Ooh, sailor gloves. Okay. Now we gotta clear out the warehouse guards.
Hello? What can I do for you?
We're the relay. You're dismissed.
Finally! We were starting to grow moss. Courage, me hearties. The path is clear. We should notify the men. They need all the time they can get.
Captain, sir, we were given orders to wait here with the merchandise.
The way is clear. It's time to get going.
Do your best to be quick and quiet about it. You won't have much time to move it.
Don't you be worrying now. We're off.
The warehouse is at the end to the right there. You can't miss it.
Move out. Quick steps.
Indeed, quick.
I've seen a few
Are you the smuggler?
You snuck yourself in here just to ask me that question?
Yes.
If this is some sort of trick to get me to admit to some crime, you are truly twisted.
You can see for yourself that I'm no naught. Come now. Are you the one I'm looking for?
I'm already locked up. What more do I risk? Yes, I am a smuggler. But I'm not the only one in this city.
I'm searching for a couple fleeing to Leme. They're trying to leave the city discreetly. Have they contacted you?
You certainly can't imagine I'm going to answer you without getting something in exchange. I don't really think of my clients as kin, but I'd never betray any of them for free.
A real saint you are. How about your freedom in exchange for your loyalty? Tell me where I can find them and I'll open this cage.
That works for me. Your two Telemites are hidden in a warehouse behind this very prison. They must be waiting for me. But you might want to be quick about it. If the Nauts get their hands on them, they'll find themselves in this same cage.
Thank you.
Anytime. And these doors? You're gonna open them, right? Thank you, my lord. And don't worry about me. I'll slip outside without being seen.
Have fun being not seen with the door open. Well, probably like no one should be treated.
Who is there?
badly for
May
it.
the Illuminated save us. Did the smuggler send you?
The man to which you are referring was arrested and thrown into prison, but revealed to me your hiding place.
Oh, the traitor!
Have you come to deliver us to the Inquisition then? Please,
No.
please, have pity on our souls.
I have not.
We have committed no crime. We are not heretics. We are nothing more than historians.
In that case, why is the ambassador of Teleme so concerned about your teachings? Why is the Inquisition looking for you, and why are you hiding?
Our only error was wanting to publish our work.
It's true. We presented our research, but
Here we
it didn't
go.
please the censor. And here you have the result.
We fled all the way to Serene, thinking we would be safe. But the Inquisition wants to silence us so badly that they followed us here.
Ask about the research.
Tell me more about your research. What about it is so horrifying that it would provoke such a fuss?
Our work concerned the teachings of St. Lucius.
The disciple of Saint Matthias. The one who returned to Teleme after traveling with his master.
The very same. His writing was carefully preserved, but never seriously studied.
With the discovery of Teofredi, we thought it crucial to take a look at the original text. We wanted
Okay.
to verify if this island could have been the faraway place that he spoke of. The Eden of Saint Matthias.
And? What did you find?
Teofredi is without any doubt the land that our Saint Matthias and his disciples went to.
So why censor it?
The text that we discovered was radically different from what we expected to find.
In the original text, St. Lucius doesn't speak of an Eden, of the paradise of the illuminated. He speaks of a voice that came from the depths of the earth, which convinced St. Matthias to stay there.
It was written in black and white, and there is no doubt about it. The original was written in Lucius's own hand.
I understand now what that text has cost you. This voice from the depths sounds more the power of a demon than a saint.
The sacred texts are always difficult to interpret, but what is written
Is written. Their escape plan.
Who were you hoping would give you asylum?
We were hoping to reach Al-Sad. The Inquisition won't chase us into the den of their enemies.
Our research won't interest the Bridge Alliance, or at least I doubt it. But at least we'll be safe.
By entering Al-Sad as clandestines, you risk being taken for spies.
That would be better than being burned at the stake.
Indeed.
Did you try speaking with the censors? You could forget what you have discovered, perhaps.
Nope.
Oh, we have signed already an abjugation stating that we misunderstood the sacred texts of St. Lucius. We were even ready to say that we had never seen the true text, or anything else that would have pleased them.
It served no purpose. It's our lives they are after.
I see.
They're taking
Well, you have
things
no
too
other
far.
choice but to run and seek refuge in enemy territories.
I beg of you, please do not deliver us to them. Let us continue on this path.
Propose to speak with the Bridge
Could have a
Alliance
word with
ambassador.
the good Dr. Sahid, the ambassador of the Bridge Alliance. If he can be persuaded to offer you asylum, you would be saved.
Your goodness honors you. May the Illuminated forever light your path.
If I manage to convince the ambassador, you'll need to refrain from that sort of blessing. Stay here. I'll be back. Your Excellency.
Lord de Sade.
Ask for help with the
I would like
historians.
to talk to you about a rather delicate matter.
I am listening.
A couple of historians have made a recent discovery concerning Mateus, the founder of the mythical Teleme. And it seems that this is not to the liking of the Illuminated, or at least his more fervent subjects.
These sinister hypocrites are going to want to burn them at the stake.
Without a doubt.
Indeed.
And that's why these poor people are begging you to offer them asylum.
We are willing. Where are they to be found at this time?
At the port of Serene. They were hoping to stow away discreetly on a vessel to Al-Sad.
Very well. I shall send an escort immediately to take them somewhere safe.
I need to be going. Goodbye,
Well,
Excellency.
let's go inform the
Goodbye,
historians.
Lord de Sade.
We owe you our lives. We are eternally grateful.
It was nothing. I hope you won't have too much difficulty adapting to your new country.
If you would allow me, I would like to give you this. It's not much, but it is all that we possess.
Farewell.
You have a kind heart, Greenblood. It'll
Thank
be
you.
the end of you, but that doesn't bother me. I wouldn't have wanted those poor buggers to end up on a burning pyre.
It would seem that I'm not the only one with a tender heart. Good day, Excellency.
Sir de Sade, to what do I owe the pleasure?
It pains me to inform you that the heretics you seek have fled.
Curse them! How could that possibly have happened?
Lie.
Alas, these renegades have found protection with the ambassador of the Bridge Alliance. I would not have been able to
That's not a
capture
lie!
them without risking a diplomatic incident that my uncle would have condemned.
The bridge. I thought as much.
You could have just let the gun to the
Heretics
island.
have turned to them. But I had hoped that you might intervene quickly enough to stop them. It is truly regrettable. We have nothing else to do but pray that the Luminous might shield us from their lies.
I must be going. Farewell, Excellency.
May the light guide you, de Sade.
Now, why isn't it marked?
Right then. What about our business?
We can guarantee that your merchandise will leave with us.
Thank you, Your Excellency. And bravo, Kurt. The Commander will be most pleased.
The cargo shall make the voyage. But who will be at its reception once it's arrived?
That shall be your next mission. Once you've reached New Serene, go and find the Quartermaster. He will give you new instructions. Until then, I wish you a safe and pleasant voyage, Your Excellency. Kurt, good luck.
Huh.